There you go.
Well,
Well, that doesn't mean that simultaneously other businesses can't be looked at. But here's where I'm really trying to say here, Coyote, is that right now you're sort of designing what appears to be the Eiffel Tower, right? Before you have designed, a figurine. You know what I mean? And so of your findings thus far, my biggest recommendation here is you should find a means by which to look at a singular case of potential fraud and hone in on that. And as you do such, I mean, take a look at, have you seen the case that Springfield has put up yet?
See, the one on Baylor?
Yeah. Like, I mean, have you read through the docket posting?
See.
Okay. So you see how much is in there and how much work had to get to even go after that, right? And that's just one business. So having a plan to hone in on one business is definitely the key here. And if you spread your net way too wide, not going to be much fruit that's going to come out of that. You know what I mean?
Well, let me ask you about this then for assistance here.
Yeah.
Can Springfield, or someone within the Marshal Department gain access to I have a checklist here.
Yeah.
All of the active businesses, you said we have that. I can check that off?
I believe so.
Okay, I'm going to check that off. The business proposals themselves that were reviewed and approved. Can we get access to that?
We can get access to all these things.
Okay,
Here's what I want you to do. I want you to make a report of everything it is that you think you need to succeed. And we will make sure we get those things. Right?
Can you give me an example of what you mean?
Yeah, you're you said you need like the what example of what? You need a couple things from the mayor's office?
See.
Yeah.
I put it in a report and I get it to you. I get it to you in half
and
hour.
give this to Springfield and Luca, right?
Okay. Okay, now I want you to set direct parameters so I don't step outside them for me on who I can speak to, because at some point I do want to talk to the persons and get a sort of profile, a personality profile on these people by interacting with them.
Luca, have you been able to provide guidance to Coyote for some of the things he needs and sort of direction?
Yeah, we've had a couple of conversations on different things.
Coyote, have you expressed some of these things that you need to Luca?
No, this is all stuff we drew up. Like I think about 24 hours ago. Myself and Aldo discussed it yesterday at night.
Understood.
That this was the plan. I didn't even get to share with you what our plan was.
Okay.
I just mean in general, if you had questions, you've come to me with questions before.
So
as far as procedures and training and stuff like that, uniforms, vehicles, stuff like that. Sorry, did I misunderstand that question?
No, you're good. Okay. I know you walked in halfway through. So Coyote over here is looking for a series of things to help him in the stuff he's looking into, including things like the roster, the business proposals, he's going to need like the what is it called, like the business app screenshots. You know what I'm talking about? The little one that the DOJ has in the mayor's office. So there's a series of things that he's looking for, some of which may exist, some of which may not exist. But fundamentally, they're going to either have to come from the justices or the mayor themselves. I've sort of slowed him down from having a chat directly with the mayor to get that information, given Springfield's active case and that, the case on the mayor himself, to prevent any, of those other cases turning into something exculpatory, right? They bring it up to him, and then it turns out it becomes exculpatory to someone else. We need to make sure Coyote is getting what he needs, and that he's directed to get that through Springfield, Aldo, et cetera, so that, you know, he's got a witness, or alternatively, we produce those things if we already got them, right?
Yeah, no problem. I can help.
Do you know if
navigate all
anyone's
that? That's not a problem at all.
Do you know if anyone's ever asked the mayor's office for their past audits?
I don't believe in the time I've been in the marshals that I've heard them ask for what the mayor's audited. No.
Has anyone? Can I, Mr. Knight? May I even extend this to certain questions that I would like?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Everything that is a question, things that you're doing, should be in a report, right?
Okay, I think it would be very good to ask the mayor's office for all the past audits of the past administration and the current one, the audits that have taken place, and which audits have resulted in proof that someone has done malpractice. Because I think it's very important and interesting to establish first, if they say that in their time, not one time has any audit proven that there has been malpractice. I think that is extremely important. Because if we have a list of the proposals for businesses, what they have been, the ones that have been approved, we then have a list of
Coyote needs a direct
and then we have on top of that the mayor
on this. Otherwise, he's going to get himself cooked, and then we're going to end up having to.
So far, there has been no audit that has resulted in malpractice or fraud. That is very important. 1, 2, and 3, because then if we have all three of those, the business proposal and outline, the grant request and approval, and then and on top of that, we have the mayor saying there has been no fraud. We then, when we acquire the proofs through subpoenas, sniff tests, i.e., can show that, well, it's very interesting that the mayoral bodies have said that all of their audits up until this point have proven no malpractice. If we can outline it clearly that to anybody with 2 brain cells who looks at it, there is clear malpractice, this immediately shows that the mayoral body is not fit to audit, which then will allow the Bribe Act legislation to say, okay, it was given to the mayor, but they have failed. Therefore, that
he's making the Eiffel Tower, but
passes to a higher body.
He hasn't made a.
So that was the point that I wanted to establish. That's why these things are really important. Now, the other thing is they could say, well, we haven't done any audits. That to itself immediately makes them culpable. Immediately, right there overnight. Which then would allow us to put a halt on the grant system instantly. Literally instantly. Because if they say that they have never done an audit, neither the prior administration or this one, that is extremely bad. It would show that they are unfit to have that authority to give out grants. If they say they have done audits and none of them came back as fraudulent, that too can give us grounds for immediate halting of the grant system.
Yep.
That is the plan of attack. I think that the Bruce Baylor strategy is very good and is a very useful one, which means that whenever the case happens, it goes down.
Oh my God.
Then it says, okay, we have one instance here of fraud taking place, by which Charles Danger himself can say he was unaware. And then from there, develop case by case and go to every business. But the amount of businesses is so numerous, and in that time, Charles Danger can continue to make damage. But if today if we can get him as soon as possible to tell us what audits they have done, which I'm telling you, I think most likely he's going to say they have done no audits. That alone is enough, I think, to show that
and
they've been extremely irresponsible, because legislation.
This absolutely requires Springfield's blessing. So what you're describing right here is effectively the roadmap that has been in place for the past 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. Luca's been in those meetings as well. However, each one of these things takes steps. The reason is because we are law enforcement. We need to follow due process, right?
You did something extremely clever in your interrogation that I fucking loved, which was you got him very cleverly to speak on things in a very nonchalant way. And the way you got the proposals for the businesses, the grant proposals, in the same way, I feel like if you work your magic.
What is it that I just said to you, Coyote?
That this is a roadmap you've been working on for the last 2 weeks.
And we need deep due process, right?
Why can't you just ask him? Can you also share with us your audits that you've done? Just casually.
Why not sign this off with Springfield first? You know what I mean?
Well, you're here right now. Springfield isn't.
Yeah. Do you know what chain of command is?
I do.
Are you aware that she's kind of leading up financial investigations?
She?
Right. So, imagine you're working a case and someone came to me and was like, hey, this, let's say you're working on, building a case on, the liquid library and, you're knee deep in it and, you're not here and someone comes through and was like, hey, that liquid library thing? I'm going to go raid it right now, and
no, not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
Saying?
But look, Springfield, if Springfield shows up to try to ask that from Charles Danger, he's going to be spooked, scared. He's going to be like pressed up against the wall. You got the sauce whenever you ask him. You're not saying like, basically like, oh, by the way, all the audits that have happened, you have a record of that? You were doing that in the interrogation the whole time. It was super casual. It didn't seem like you were pressing him up against the wall. It didn't seem like you were assuming he was guilty at all. You say, oh, by the way, the grants.
Do you know how? Coyote,
well, I feel like only you can pull that off.
No, there's and that might be the one that goes in, and it not necessarily has to be Springfield, but investigations need a plan that is following due process, and it requires communication among each other. The moment we go rogue or become a cowboy is when when shit hits the fan, right? And that includes coordination with who's approaching the mayor, right? Which is why when I say some of these things, like make sure you have a full marshal, there's a significant amount of detail as to the why. And, we can certainly explain the why, but you're not going to, necessarily understand it all, right off the bat. The reason why Springfield, for example, should be on board with this is because this plan, everyone who's working the financial space and what entanglements might exist need to be on board. Because
okay,
there are things that I don't know.
I understand.
There are things that you don't know. There's things that Luca don't know. That until we converse as a collective, right? We're going to actually hose each other. Right?
I understand. You're saying, okay, share the plan with Springfield.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I think what should be happening right now is what you should be doing is you're saying, look, I found all these things, right? Having conversations here and there, great. But what needs to happen is, have you written any reports yet?
No, it's all.
Okay.
I have that one report where I have the summary of all the. Here, I can link it to you.
No. Look,
sorry.
It's fine. I believe you're doing work. I've seen it. However, do you know what our primary means of communication is in this department?
Through reports.
Through reports. And you know what that allows? Is that when you go to sleep and someone that you don't even see, they know what you're doing. I know what Luca's been doing. You know what? Ruth even knows what's going on with the faceless stuff because I put it up and she's reading that. I'm in bed and she's got subpoenas going. I'm waking up and I got stuff. You know what I'm saying? That is the means by which we're communicating with each other because we are one big investigative unit. In one way or another, what I'm directly working on or whatever will affect you, right? Will affect Luca and vice versa, right? So, so as a consequence of this, you've got your notes somewhere. I would recommend putting some of those findings actually in the reports. that's going to result in people coming to you and being like, yo, I saw your report on something. Let me give you some more information. Or, hey, I noticed you found this thing. Let's talk about it, right? What I would like you to do is start putting some of those findings into a report, either a singular one, multiple one, or a master doc. In regards to your findings of what you would like and feel like you need next, I would put that in a report, and I would set up a meeting with all the financial folks, and let's talk about it. You know what I mean? I feel like this is, you need to be brought into the fold of what's been happening so far and get a understanding of the bigger picture.
This is what I need.
Right.
I needed a direction. Okay, when can we set a date for this meeting to take place? Once I finish
First,
this
get your
report?
reports in.
It is such a monumental amount of information.
And
Are you
that's why
telling
we
me-
need it in the reports. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, okay.
Yeah. You know what that sounds like to me? I'm lazy. Are you lazy, Coyote?
No, not at all.
All right. Don't ever keep in mind I'm the director, little pup. All right. You don't want to be making yourself look bad in front of me.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
I thought, I did the paperwork for the last 4 days. Now it's time
You
to have
didn't
some
do
boots
shit.
on the ground.
I don't see any damn reports.
No, I get you.
You get FOIA tomorrow. What? You gonna give them your Obsidian Vault? They're gonna slap. DOJ is gonna slap you upside the face, and you're gonna get a bunch of lawsuits on your ass.
Okay. I guess I'll work on putting all that in the reports now.
Put it in the reports. And I think what I want you to do genuinely, because we're going to bring you into these conversations, Coyote. Keep in mind, you're on day, what, 4? You're talking about taking down the entire fucking government. You know what I mean?
Charles Danger needs to be, the granting needs to be halted yesterday.
Relax.
Fact. No, I'm just...
Relax.
No, I'm
Put
just
the gun down. Put the fucking gun down.
I meant to point.
Are you going to fucking shoot him now?
No, listen. That should have happened yesterday. The fact that he's still able to give grants.
Do you know?
Right now is,
let me ask you, Coyote. See, here's the thing.
Sorry.
I need you to humble yourself. How are you going to shut down the grants? Tell me right now. What avenue are you going to shut it down? What legal approach?
I'm going to say this guy is not fit. I use the
How
Bribes
are you going to do that?
Well, I'm going to show that.
Where?
If we...
Right now, Coyote, tell me, how are you going to shut it down?
There's some preliminary steps to take prior to it.
Okay.
The preliminary step is to prove...
What is the end step? What is the legal function?
That right there is the end step.
Yeah. Do you see where I'm trying to walk you to right now?
See.
It needs all the steps beforehand, right? Like, it's kind of like this, right? I know that Forehead and the besties murdered someone in prison a week and a half ago. I can't just go and start screaming, we got to put him in jail and, give him murder, right? We have to do all the shit to actually go to court with that, right? The thing that you want to do is called an injunction, right? We cannot file an injunction without a pattern behavior. Without that pattern behavior, we are going to look like dumb fucks if we even go to the Danger and make the assertion or claim he's not doing what he needs. Because all Danger has to say, even in this case of like, are they doing this and that, is yes, we're doing it. And they're not even required to give us that information. It's like going, it's an old man going, trying to go, trying to get his groove on, but he ain't got no blue pills, right? It's going into a shootout, but you ain't got no magazines.
And I mean, to elaborate on what Brian's just saying, keep in mind, if these people are in fact doing what you suspect, right? it's not like they're gonna just give it up easy and say, "Oh yeah, here you go. Here's all of our records that give you all this." You know,
I fucked up. You got me.
Yeah,
or the least we could do is say, like, what was the last audit you did?
Are you aware of what might be happening in the government right now? Do you remember what? Do you know why we went to that trial?
See, that Remedy Creed might be getting ready to become the mayor.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yep.
See?
This motherfucker might go spend it all and then step down for Remedy to take it over. We don't know yet. Right now, there's a lot of this is a lot of theory, right? This is a lot of assumption. There is currently no facts, and we need to garner those.
Let me ask you one last thing, okay?
Sure.
Okay. I hope this is not annoying, but I'm learning. Like, this is how I learn. I need to, like, press to be pressed back so I can understand. Okay. So, the 20 people that we mentioned, the main 20 hitters who have bled for 400 million in grants, each one of them has 1 to 3 businesses. And we can go to each business, every single one, investigate each one. Or we can see what do all of these have in common. This was the conclusion I came to yesterday night. Was all of these have one thing in common, and that's the mayoral body, the source of which all of these come from. That to me should become the prime target. Now, I was talking to McAllister last night, and I said, McAllister, I've narrowed it down to 3.
Mm-hmm. Keep in mind, McAllister is also pretty fresh. He does not have court experience. So this is why I point you at folks like Springfield. This is why I poke you at individuals like Norman, right? Not every investigator has the same skill set, right?
I see.
You're talking, you're talking to, I've closed cases, I've gotten plea deals, I've done it all, right? That doesn't infer that everyone has. McAllister, for example, we're still teaching him how to get to a plea deal, how to close out a case, et cetera, et cetera. So if you just go to McAllister, right? Like you, and this is one of the things I want you working on as well, that I don't want you skipping on, right? Is getting to know the marshals and their skill sets. Because if you go to Luca, for example, and I'm like, yo, Luca, I need you to, what do you call it? Put up a docket posting for X, Y, and Z. Luca, that's not necessary. He's been around for a minute. He might be able to put it together, but that ain't really his expertise. Is that accurate,
yep.
Luca?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. Can I make a docket posting? Yes, but could Springfield, Blunt, Norman, Brian, could any of those names I just put down put up a more quality and more rock solid docket posting? Absolutely. And is that going to affect my ego? Absolutely not.
Yes.
Is it fair for me to direct the focus in the reports eventually all roads leading back to Charles Danger's incompetence?
No, do not do that. No. See, this is the other thing we got to teach you.
The nuclear option right off the
rip. No, because that's what they all have in common.
No, brother. See, this is why you need someone to help you. Listen, okay, so let me play this out, right? And this is what where I want you to really focus on a singular business, because you need to personally experience how to go after something a little bit more bite size and see how it goes to put it up on the docket and see what happens on the docket and see what happens with the defense is going to do and see what it is that how it's going to play out in court. Because what you just described, if you did that, you know what they're going to do? Danger can literally fucking FOIA the report and now rip bozo your entire investigation.
Okay, so I narrowed it down to 3. Okay, there was JRP loans, which I think I should skip because you already did an interrogation with him on, correct?
Yeah.
There is driving school, which got a $10.2 million grant, which McAllister said, don't do that one. It's DOJ. They're involved.
Do not. McAllister should not be directing you on these things. I'm going to have a chat with him afterwards. He may be misdirecting you, even just hearing he's giving you this advice.
He said avoid the driving school because it involved the DOJ with Cassandra Cage. It's going to be dirty. They're going to roadblock you.
Oh, yeah. You know what? That is accurate. I'm just being very cautious here that you're getting advice from the experts in this space, right? if I needed an expert to raid, you know who I go to? TRT, Luca, right? I don't go to Springfield and say, how do we set up a raid plan on this? Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so there's Black Swan with Ivy Grayson and
the
Seamus
ex-justice
McCarthy. And Seamus McCarthy.
Okay. All right.
Is that the one I should look into then? All full focus. Then there's also KTB, and they're in black, and all their bullshit.
Have you spoken to Aldo about that one?
See, we've been.
I think you and Aldo working on the KTB stuff is actually a match made in heaven. Aldo is around in the mornings. Did you seen his case board?
See.
And the KTB stuff quite literally is alleged to be Oxy related. Right?
See, in August.
You need someone, Coyote, that you can ping these ideas off of, and individuals that are experienced in court, but also experienced as to what the pitfalls are. Because right now, you're going to be running, right? But part of being a good investigator is eventually getting jaded and then breaking through the fence of jadedness, right?
The KTB one is like upwards of like 60 to 90 million. I think it's the biggest one. You want me to start with that one?
I am advising KTB because Aldo is already working on a lot of stuff surrounding that, including getting the network together. So if you're bringing some of the finances and he's got some of the other things, it's kind of a match, right? And by honing in on this, because the allegations, and we don't have evidence for it, is that those grants are being misappropriated towards the purchasing of Oxy, right? This lets you hone in and gather evidence.
That happened in August. It happened beyond the statute of limitations.
What do you mean? They just did they're doing a KTB event tomorrow.
They're doing a brawl, but the brawl proposals, they're always updated. So every brawl proposal, every time they do one of these brawls, they get about they get several million. But the one that involved the Oxy that I've seen goes back in August. So I don't think that every time they ask for something slightly different, if that makes sense, in the proposal.
So keep in mind for me, right? Like right now you're naming off businesses. What makes you think that they're doing something illegal?
No, you're citing the Oxy thing, which they listed in a proposal to get a grant to do a fight brawl. That was in August. But every time they do a fight brawl, like once every 2-3 weeks,
they put a new proposal in?
Yeah, they put a new grant request.
Okay.
So every time you see one of these pop up, they've gotten a grant request for it.
Okay.
Now, the recent ones that I looked at, I didn't see Oxy asking for. The recent ones is like to renovate a warehouse, to pay for DJs, etc., etc. Does that make sense?
It does. I think I'm hearing that your concern is that there may not be any evidence because the Oxy stuff was from a while back, or is that just kind of a side?
See, you were saying like they're doing Oxy in the grant, so like nail them on that. We show that they did a.
Well, no, not nail them. No, by no means. Right now, what stage are we at with these other businesses? The stage is that the only thing they've done is ask for a lot of money, right? So let's go find out some details about it, right? The fact that they asked for Oxy 4 months ago, well, why not go to the event undercover? See what it's about. See what their prize money is looking like. See who ends up winning it, right?
We sent a guy undercover.
And if not KTB, right, then maybe another one that's showing signs of wrongdoing. And from there, we need to allocate evidence, right? Not allocate, but gather evidence of potential wrongdoing. Because despite the you know, I like that earlier in this conversation, you're talking about putting pressure on the mayor to build a case for them being, you know, coming from the top down and saying, hey, you need to give us all your auditing information, and if you're not going to audit, we're going to audit.
I just thought it was real simple. It'd be like, you guys audit it, like, can we just see the records, or have you guys audited at all? And if they say no, that's already alarming. If they say yes, say, oh, would you mind sharing that?
I can tell you they definitely didn't audit shit. So
exactly, yeah. I would like to have them on record on even if it's in the most nonchalant, casual way of saying no, we've never audited.
Yeah, but Cayote, you want it on record because it's going to lead to impeachment, right? You are not going to be impeaching the mayor on day 5. I need you to comprehend that bit, right? And that's why this is too big for your britches.
Fucking granted $500 million to 20 people. I mean, what the fuck?
Why do you
fuck? This faceless group that everyone's talking about, do they even have a budget of $500 million?
You're saying it like as if the mayor might not be faceless.
Why does fucking Five Guys have more of a budget than the entirety of the Marshals?
Do you know how to impeach someone?
Please make that my task. Let me look at danger. I'm kidding. No, I don't know. I'm going to look at it as soon as we're going. I'm going to read up on injustice.
No, I'm not asking you to. I'm saying this is too big for you right now.
I just feel like for the public, you know, it's so important.
That's my job, not yours.
Yes.
You are learning. The amount of cases that have been thrown by individuals whose ego gets too big, their eagerness gets so wide, they end up screwing it for everyone. Now, my question to you, Coyote, are you ready to learn and be guided?
I'm ready. Are
you going to end up like Lucas Miller?
I don't know who that is.
You don't want to know. Stay away from him.
Okay.
We're going to get you to where you need to be. But here are the lessons. Here are the things I want you to do. It's going to be a part of your program. Number 1, I want you to spend some time with the various marshals and deputy marshals and understand what they have been working on. Do you know why?
So we don't overlap in contradict or sabotage.
Yes,
the other ones.
But there's a second one for your learning, which is knowing who are the experts in the different spaces. So that when you have questions, you know, oh, they're on duty. I need to ask them. They know this stuff. Even even yesterday, I leaned on Norman and Springfield on something specific. Why? It's not my expert area, right? If I go do it myself, I'm going to just get fucking rear-ended. You know what I mean? The long dick of the DOJ. That's what I want you to figure out, because some of what I'm hearing here is, you know, you're out there and you want to do all these things and no one's helping you. Well, it may not be that no one.
I've never asked for help and not gotten it. That's everyone.
But there are these answers and questions, right? And part of that is you're not aware of the marshals and which ones are experts in what, right? There's the next thing, right? I want you to make a list of the things that you believe you need, right? The third is that we're going to bring you into the next step meeting, which is the grander question of finances, grants, and the state of the mayor's office. That is not a you and me conversation. That is a few of us conversation. Because we need to be lockstep so that we are collectively successful. And how we are going to get to that point, right? Because I'm telling you right now, we go with what evidence we have today, even the suggestion that you have, which is, are you auditing? Nope. That is valid, and that is something that has been brought up. But we need to make sure we do it right. Otherwise, that anger about, the hundreds of millions of dollars, you're going to have to stay angry because we lose that court case. It's GG, WP.
The court case with Bruce Baylor?
No, against the mayor's office.
I see.
Let me plant a seed for you real quick. Just something to keep in mind, right? These folks, the mayor's office, the people participating in these grants and all that, they're hiding this in plain sight, okay? They really are. And there's a reason for that, right? And the reason for that is because they know that people like yourself, and don't take this personally, are going to come after them like that. But they also know that they're insulated because they can't hide things in plain sight if they're not insulated, right? They have a plan for that. They want you to come at them. They want you to think this is going to be easy. They're making this easy. That it's very obvious. That's going to be wrong. The deeper you dig, the further you will see that they have layers. There's insulation between this. You're not going to be able to just go after, the top of the food chain right off the rip. And they know that. They want you to. They honestly do because they know you'll fail.
Yep.
They're baiting you in.
He's 100% right.
I don't agree with that, but I'll accept it and as me being wrong.
Yeah. Look, Coyote, you don't say, I don't agree with that. Has a lot of implications, little pup. I haven't seen a single docket case from you yet.
No, but I just want to say what I mean by that. Michael Razel was able to burn through hundreds of millions of dollars on the most bullshit proposals that don't pass even the slightest sniff test. And they said, his campaign finished, he's done, he's out of office. And they say, whoa, we got away with that. No one even looked into it. That's crazy. Well, I guess we can kind of get away with this. Let's go round 2. Now that
I think you missed Luca. You missed. I think you may have missed Luca's point here. Is that a lot of times these big outfits want investigators to go to the top because inherently, based on history, due to the lack of evidence, due to the higher level of scrutiny that justices will use. If we fail, they immediately get away with it because you can't be charged more than once. That's why we have to be pedantic. That's why we have to be so nuanced and why I'm going to be up your fucking ass about it. So when you're telling me or even inferring you might be talking to the mayor, that's telling me you're going to let the mayor get away.
You guys mean that if we try to go at the mayor and we lose,
it's over.
Continues.
Yeah, you can't do it. Wait, hold on a second. Coyote, are you aware that what double jeopardy is?
Of course, 100%.
Yeah, it'd be double jeopardy.
I have to understand that it's so asinine that they're gonna someone is going to look at this obvious.
It is obvious.
Monumental, gargantuan, probably greatest crime that has ever taken place in this city, and then give them a pass on the technicality. It's so asinine.
I'm going to lay this out, and because it may have been lost since I may have mentioned this, 3 days ago. I took over this marshal's office 5 weeks back. We have captured more individuals. We have dealt with more cases simultaneously, with the expectation is that each one of my full-blown marshals are able to take something and complete it to the end. And they have a proven track record. Not a single marshal has not had a track record. In other words, they have fully investigated a case. They have, interrogated. They have arrested. They've led a squad. They've done the raids. They know how to do this. They know how to do that. They know how to go to court. They know what happens after the court case. They've dealt with what happens when we're sued, when there are when criminals or even mayors take a gleeful
I get it now.
Person like yourself, and what happens? They chew them up and they spit them out, right? And we don't want you to get fucked. But more importantly, because you're not my son, and I will fire you like this, is that I don't want you to fuck over the marshals from bringing justice. So we want you to be a part of the team, and we're going to make sure we get you there, right? So
okay, I got a lot of work to do.
Hell yeah!
Thank you for spending so much time to drill it home.
No, absolutely. Look, it's been very busy the past 2 weeks. However, we're gonna start investing more of that time with you. Let me. You're gonna be around when Jessica's around, and I want you to get a sense of what's happening, and I want you to do a lot of listening and sipping in on what's going on, and then I want you to kind of present some of these things so you can have a understanding of, you know, what our blueprint looks like. You know what I mean? Because
okay. Also, this is a complete caveat. The blonde woman who put in a report about potentially being assassinated, thinking that they were the mayor, her name was Sybil Lovell, said that she was trying to contact you.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. Of a million things on my plate. You know what I mean?
Totally. I just thought I mentioned that. So okay. Well, it seems like I got a lot of work to do to transfer all of this stuff into a report. Yeah,
get it in a report, and I think we need to work with you on honing in on. I really want to see you bring something to the docket, regardless of the result, because you need to have personal experience on all the little intricacies that are required of us.
Totally. That's the part that's missing from my game, and I think that's the perspective I'm lacking.
And when you see that, this blueprint that you see, all of a sudden, it may, because everything that you have said thus far, you mentioned earlier, this is actually well known to a lot of us, right? We're on that same page. We just need to make sure it's done right so that we're not shooting ourselves, right?
What Brian just said was about to be the next thing that came out of my mouth, which is going to be, you know, get with Springfield, get with Adams, get with the people who are working on some of this stuff, and make sure you are collaborating, right, with your fellow marshals, and make sure you're working with them as a team, seeing that big picture, because you're all a part of that big picture. So you all need to work to get there. The other thing is, like Brian said, I would say you were talking about different businesses that you had your eye on. Like, talk to the folks that you're working with in the financial stuff, and, you know, get opinions, see which one of those might be best for you to start taking a deep dive into. Take a deep dive. Don't be afraid.
And we're going to do this. All right. Some of these things, if we don't have them, including the auditing, we'll bring you. I'll make sure you're around when we do talk to Danger. And I want you to sit behind the glass and listen. Right. I want you to see a master chef.
Okay.
Nalty.
Hey, just so you're aware, when I was taking those pictures and everything, Charlie called me.
Maybe go take a nice deep dive into those other, you know, long looking.
Yeah, just to be like,
think is involved.
Hey, how did you like those pictures? I told the assets to like do a little dance for you on the way out, and then kind of just bragged and was like, "Fuck you, bye bye."
Take a swing at one of these businesses and see what the pushback's like. See what the system is like that you're dealing with.
So Charlie called you and did what now?
He called me and was like, hey, I hope you got some nice pictures. I told the